So last week I started a big project. I'm renovating my art studio again. If you're new here, this is our dad's old shed. It has been used for banana packing, it's been a donkey shed, it's been a tool shed, and now it's an art studio. But it has its problems, so I'm renovating it again and making it a little bit less junky. But of course, in my journey of making it less junky, I'm using as much junk as I can find, starting with these abandoned doors that I got for free from a woman living deep in the rainforest. Our family have a bit of a habit of collecting old junk and then trying to turn it into something. But if I'm being completely honest, this habit isn't a bad thing. This whole place is built from junk, and isn't it beautiful? Sometimes we store the junk for, you know, only 6 months, but sometimes it's more like 30 or 50 years. But eventually it becomes something beautiful. These kitchen cabinets are old paintings. These ones are old floorboards that I did up to make kitchen cabinets. The kitchen top was from the tip. The old windows were collected from an old building that was falling down, and our parents collected them and kept them for years and years. These windows were for free on the side of the road. These windows were only metal frames that were almost trash, and then we restored them completely from scratch by adding glass, painting them, and restoring them to look beautiful and new again. These floors were seconds from the mill, and they had all these problems with them. They were rough, and then we restored them, and now they're beautiful again. We had leftover floorboards, so we made this door from them. And while we're at it, we also made these bookshelves that are also made from floorboards. Someone was tearing these cupboards out of their home because they were renovating it, so we came and collected them for free, repainted them, and now they're this. This sewing machine was old and broken, and I restored it, and now it sews so beautifully. These doors our parents collected from an old garage in the 90s, and then they stored them in storage for many, many years, and then we restored them for this art studio. Old floorboards collected from a brothel. Old tin collected from 1,000 different sheds. My favorite cupboard that I got from a garage sale. Secondhand, 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 secondhand. This doggy is technically secondhand. His original owner returned him because he vomited in the car and caused a car crash. And we love him nonetheless. We love him more actually because he has so much character. Although he does vomit every time he gets in a car. It's worth it. It's worth it. At this point, this whole place is secondhand. It's all junk, and I honestly couldn't be more proud. I think it's a way of living to see beauty in the broken and to always be collecting things and appreciating things, and instead of constantly buying new things that will eventually end up in landfill, instead we go to landfill and we find beautiful things there and we collect them and we build from them, and maybe sometimes it goes a little bit too far, but I think it's this resourcefulness that maybe comes from living with the land, where you realize you can't just endlessly consume. You need to give back, and you need to be able to appreciate all the things that are already littering the earth on this planet. So my next big project that I'm taking on is a secondhand pair of doors, which I think is gonna be hard work, but I think it's gonna be worth it because I think they'll glow in this place. Job number 1 is to remove the glass. With your help. It's hard to get anything done with a big fluffy dog that needs a cuddle.
At this point, I was blissfully naive, I guess. For one thing, I definitely wasn't careful enough with the toxic lead paint, and I was also just so unaware of the magnitude of this project.
My next job is getting off any of the flaking paint so that I can seal it, and so I'm going to use this tool.
This first job of scraping off any peeling lead paint so that it wouldn't come off later, it revealed some problems that I didn't even know about.
Oh no. That is way less solid than I thought. So after what I thought would be a simple little scratch off of the paint that was already flaking off, it turns out that these doors are way more rotten than I initially thought. Like, way more rotten. Like, probably past the point of saving them. But I just kind of feel more determined to save them now. They're so beautiful, it would be such a shame to just throw them out. But they are so rotten. I thought the rot was just down here so I could cut it, but it's everywhere.
It was around this point that I started to question if this was just rot or if the tiny round egg-looking balls could be a sign of something much worse.
This is the other door that we encased, and it was old lead paint as well, and it looks so beautiful. So this is giving me hope because I really like this, but I don't know if these ones are too far gone. So I've done some research, and I'm pretty sure that it's termites that have eaten all of these massive holes in the wood. And they're a special type of internal termite that isn't like the ones that are normally in soil, that kind of, they can only stay in the soil and they have to have something connecting to them. They can't move in wood, whereas these ones can move from, they could still, the whole colony could still be alive in just this door. So it was a bit concerning, and I can't believe I've brought it in here and I could be contaminating everything with termites. So I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to take these outside and I'm going to treat them, and then I'm going to putty them and fill in these holes, and then I'm going to repaint some of it, and then I'm going to varnish some of it, and then I'm going to put new glass in, because I don't think it's worth throwing them out. They're so beautiful. They're old hardwood. They're just, oh, they're like, picture where they were originally. They're too beautiful to throw out. I'll chop the bottoms off as well. That's one of the steps that I forgot. There's going to be many steps, but I think it's worth it. And now I'm going to start restoring the other pair of doors, which is putting all my eggs in one basket, all of my doors in one hope, but I think it's gonna work. I believe.
The unfaithful thoughts is something you taught me. My head gets lost.
So you might know that the reason that I'm renovating this art studio is for my sister, who has had some complex health issues, and she just had a major surgery a few weeks ago. So she's in full recovery mode. She's doing a bit better now, but of course she's just so worn out after such a big surgery. But that's actually why I wanted to talk about the sponsor of this week's video, which is Cowboy Colostrum. Colostrum is a health product that comes from the cow's first milk, and Julia has actually had so many recommendations from doctors over the years to take colostrum. But I remember when she first got this recommendation, I searched everywhere locally for an ethical source of colostrum and I just couldn't find any, so we ended up giving up. But that's why I'm so excited, because Cowboy Colostrum only collects the surplus colostrum after baby calves have already had their fill. Unlike other colostrum brands, Cowboy Colostrum is true first day whole colostrum, rich in bioactives like immunoglobulins and growth factors, and it's really good for your gut, for glowing skin, for strong hair, and mostly what we're interested in, for steady energy. I have a dust allergy, so after working in the shed, I am normally such a mess. I am sneezing, I am wheezing, I am blowing my nose constantly, but colostrum actually has anti-inflammatory and immune regulating properties, so I've been noticing a big difference. It's really easy to add to your routine. I like to just have it in my coffee or hot chocolate. Julia likes to add it to her matcha, and it's just actually so delicious. For a limited time, you can get 25% off your entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/mountain and use our code MOUNTAIN at checkout. After way too long of trying to renovate these doors, I've finally decided that they're just not worth it. They are infested with termites, and that was just the step too far. I've put so much effort into these doors already. I have driven so far into the hills to collect them for free, and now I know why they were free. Then I brought them home, left them in storage for a year, then I took out all the glass, then I started scraping away slowly at all the lead paint. Then after that I made sure that all the termite damage was visible, and then now I finally realized that they're way too broken. There's no way I can fix them. They're also just a hazard because they'll bring termites into everything else that we have, so there's no way I can keep these. I don't think anyone will want them. I think we have to throw them out. It's just so beautiful! So now I'm just gonna take off all the old hardware and keep that, but the rest is having to go to the tip. Look at that, that's more termites. It's completely rotted. I can't believe that I ever wanted to restore these. Seeing these doors in the rubbish pile is such a sad sight, but honestly it's where they belong, and I think I should have accepted that a long time ago. Good morning. This week has been so frustrating, so I feel like today I deserve a project that's just an extra little bit satisfying. Oh, there's mist on the mountains. Good morning. Hi. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Hi. Hi. Oh, good morning. Go out. This week I learned a lot of lessons, and I just feel like for now I think I deserve a more satisfying project, and I'm just gonna not think about the doors for a while. I'm gonna try to find some new doors that fit the spot, and I'll probably have to restore them as well, but for now I'm just gonna do like a fun project that makes me feel a little bit better, because I think I decided. I'm getting ready to go to a mosaic workshop that my friends are hosting. So I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna make a mosaic for the bathroom, like a little tile, and I think that's gonna be a really fun project. Taya and Bailey are local artists and they have these mosaic workshops every few months and they're incredible, so I'm really excited. Taya actually also lives in a shed house, or she introduced me to the word a shouse. This kind of living is actually a lot more common than you'd think around here because there's lots of kids, valley kids that they move away to the city with big dreams and then they realize that there's an amazing thriving art community back here, so they move back in with their parents and live in their shed, and the shed becomes an art studio or a bedroom, and there's a lot of us living in our parents' sheds. Okay, so I've realized that shouse is going to be really confusing to anyone that isn't Australian because basically, to explain, Australians just like to shorten any word that is physically possible because we're lazy, I guess. So to put shouse in a sentence, you'd be like, boy, you want to late to the party? I'm headed to the servo now to pick up some grog. And then you'd be like, yeah, nah, I'm bailing. I'm chucking a sickie because I've got so much work to do on the shouse out bush. It's been pissing down, so it's dead set, fully gacked. If that makes sense. If that makes more or less sense, let me know.
Easy as you go. I made it easy, don't you
You might remember Taya from bambooing, and she's an incredible bamboo artist as well. She does lots of festival installation and lots of sculptural art with all sorts of different mediums, and then also mosaic because her mum has this incredible tile business with all of these tiles that are imported from all of these beautiful places in the world, and some of the tiles get damaged along the way. So for those ones, she and Bailey have learn how to reuse them and find the beauty in them and turn them into mosaics and then teach that to others.
I really enjoyed mosaic because it's this combination of building and patchwork sewing, which are two of my greatest hobbies. If you don't quite have the perfect piece, you can always hit the tile with a hammer and see what comes from it, which is super satisfying too, especially after such a frustrating week. I decided to make a goat design because why not? I think it suits the studio shouse's eclectic vibe, and Magnolia the goat just needs a mosaic portrait of herself. It was really fun to arrange all the tiles how you want them, and it just felt like you were making your own puzzle. And slowly, a goat emerged. I love learning new skills, and this is definitely something that I want to try another time. It would be so fun to do a large-scale project one day. It was also so great to meet other creative people and make art alongside each other. After arranging the pieces, it was time to glue them down, which took a very long time. Then the next day, it was time to grout. This was kind of terrifying to cover the piece, and I was so scared for a second that I would never see it again. But also, it was really satisfying to seep the grout into each tiny crack. And Taya and Bailey assured me that my goat wasn't lost to the mud. The next step felt like what I assume being an archaeologist would feel like, slowly uncovering what was lost.
Ta-da! It looks so good here! Oh, Maggie's gonna be so happy. Okay, as a little celebration of putting my new mosaic in, I'm going to finally fix this bathroom. It has been for 18 months since I last renovated this little outdoor space. It's been doing this. And then it just gets my feet wet. It's really not good. And I've had the plumbing stuff here, and I've been meaning to do it this whole time, but I was missing one piece, so I just didn't do it. Okay, so it turns out I'm really bad at plumbing. Every time I try to plumb anything, I normally just end up giving up or failing miserably. So I had this piece and I needed to get it to 40mm pipe. So I went to the hardware store and I bought this piece because it's got like the thread and then it's 40mm. I came home, it doesn't fit. So I went back to the hardware store and I bought this piece again, thinking it was a different piece. Came home, it still didn't fit. And so I took myself back to the hardware store a third time. And I've asked so many people about this, but I got this piece, which is special. And it goes into this piece. It converts it from 40mm to 32mm, or
1.5 to inch and something. I don't know my inches, okay? And oh, look at this. It converts it from the plug to 40 mil pipe, and I'm so excited. I can't believe I finally did it. Plumbing is not my strong suit. The next step that I need to check is if this fits into the pipe that I've already made, and if it doesn't, I don't know if I can go back to the hardware store at this moment. Like, I've embarrassed myself so many times just returning the same piece to buy the same piece. So many times, I can't go back there. I can't show my face. Okay, I'm honestly terrified. It fits! Oh, this is so exciting! Oh my god, I'm gonna have a real plumbed pipe. Am I a plumber now? I think I'm a plumber. So all I'm doing is plumbing the water to go from the sink down and then out a little bit. So it really shouldn't be that hard. And I think I have all the pieces. Okay, does it hold water? It holds water, I think. Then does it empty water? It does. Oh, this is so exciting. Pipe jointing is a trade skill and should only be executed by qualified persons. Sorry, I am not qualified. This is my nightmare. This is my kryptonite. I hate this stuff. The smell of it, and you have to do it quickly, and I get stressed. And I probably should leave it for the professionals, but here I go again. Okay, so that needs to go into there. Oh, nothing's glued. Apparently my dad had a habit of never actually gluing plumbing and just leaving it to see if it worked first, and then it would always fall apart, and I kind of just want to do that, but I wonder if I should learn from his mistakes because his plumbing is always falling apart. I can do this. Okay, so it comes out here and now it needs to go that way. So I have a turning one, and then I'm gonna put that in there. That is the neatest plumbing job I've ever done, even if it's tied with a piece of string right now. Okay, are you ready? Ooh, look who's a plumber. Oh, are you not supposed to do it until it's dry? I know this probably looks very simple, and you're probably thinking, Anastasia, you just joined 2 pipes. It's really not that hard. But I don't think you understand the block, if you will, that's a pun, that I have with plumbing. It is so hard for me. I don't know why, but it's impossible. So please congratulate me on my pipe. Tell me I did a good job. I want to hear it because I did. Okay? Be nice. So while I'm still rethinking these doors and trying to make a decision on what I do next, I think for the rest of the week I'm just gonna do some much needed fencing for the goats because I need some time to really think. When you're fencing for goats, you always have to think like a goat. So right now I'm jumping on this like I'm a goat, and I would definitely be able to escape. So today I'm thinking about extending this fence up because we got this tree cut down. It's an invasive camphor laurel tree, and it's so big that the goats can jump over it, and there's also a hole in the fence. I have so much fencing to do, but I'm trying to distract myself, so I'm picking guavas instead. There is nothing like a red guava. Straight from the tree. I might make a guava crumble out of this, like an apple crumble, but with guavas. It's 100 times better. Or maybe some sort of slice. So it's been a very typical day of my life today where I went out to do a fencing job and then got there and realized it was a way bigger job than I thought it was, and there were multiple holes, not just the one hole. So then I distracted myself by picking guavas for the next however long. Then I finally got into it and came to the fencing shed to try to get some fencing supplies, but then I got distracted because I realized it's persimmon season and there's only 1 persimmon left in the tree, and I've barely utilized the beautiful persimmon season. So now I'm picking a persimmon, then I'm getting the fencing gear, and then there's probably no time left to fence today, so I'll probably fence tomorrow. And I've realized that I should find the sheep and feed them.
persimmon, it was worth the distraction. They're so bright and beautiful. This one's not ready yet, but if I leave it to sit for a little bit, it's gonna ripen up and it'll be so delicious. I love them. Now it's time to actually get to work, but I don't even know if this is the right stuff. It's just some scrap stuff that might work. I don't know if there's enough of it. I'm just gonna take lots and see. Yippee! How can I complain about this kind of distraction? Hey, Aphrodite? So beautiful. Aphrodite's turning 9? No, you're turning 10 this year. You're such a big girl. No, 9. 9 years old. Come on, come on. After a few distractions from fencing along the way, this is exactly what I needed anyway to give me the energy to fence a warm guava crumble. Yum!
I've realized that so much of my life moves around my techniques of always using junk, and a lot of the time things are slower because of it. I spent a week restoring doors that ended up being destined for landfill. Plumbing the outdoor vanity was only so hard because I was joining a sink that I got secondhand off Marketplace with a piece of pipe that was left over from another plumbing job. And this fencing project, fixing a fence yet again with some old scraps of wire and a few poles that I salvaged from our scrap pile that my dad originally salvaged from the rubbish tip.
Job number 1 is done, which is getting the hole in the fence covered so the goats can't get through that. Job number 2 is creating a very high fence so that the goats can't jump over. So I've got these, which are old things that used to hold shade cloth, like to roll it out, and we kept them because we thought that they would come in handy one day, and they have. So I'm going to use them as like pole extenders, and then I'm going to add a new fence. Look how tall this fence is. I'm so proud. No goat is getting over that. The final job on my list is to get this so that it stops falling over, and apart from that, I think that this fence is, I shouldn't say it, but it's goat proof. But I will touch wood because these goats, they're smart and they'll find a way. But this will be the first test, and then I'll put them in and see if they escape. I think in this endless appreciation for old things and this endless repurposing and reusing everything in life, then sometimes that kind of extends beyond just junk piles and the rubbish tip, and it extends into your real life as well. So you end up appreciating just everything, appreciating it all, appreciating life. But I don't know, maybe this is too much of a positive take. I'm going to find out if I agree by going to check on the goats and seeing if they escaped the paddock. I put them in there this morning, and they normally don't last a few hours, and normally they run home, and they haven't come home yet, so I'm feeling hopeful, but I'm gonna go check on them now, and fingers crossed. Look who didn't escape. The goats came home. I am so proud of them. They're such good goats. Good goats. Look at these sweet goats. They didn't escape all day, and now we're walking home. I am so proud of you all, and I'm proud of myself for doing all the fencing. Thank you so much for watching, and come again next week, because I think next week I will get some doors in, no matter what. I will find some doors, I will restore them, and they will be beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our patrons for your support on our journey. It means so much. And thank you, goats, for not escaping.